Hi guys, Emily Hayden from eSuite here. We are so grateful to work with the amazingly passionate and talented e-commerce community in Australia. But we realise that operating a business has both a social and environmental footprint. That's why at eSuite, we not only specialise in matching the best e-commerce talent with fast-growing retail businesses, we partner with community groups to make a difference.
Em and I have pledged 10% of eSuite's revenue to the re-empowerment of Indigenous Australians via the National Centre of Indigenous Excellence and Australian Environmental Conservation via 1% for the planet. It's not an add-on, it's core to our mission, and our pledge is only the start.
We look forward to sharing more about our community partners in the months to come. If you would like to know more about the NCIE or 1% for the planet, or even help us to do more to support these great organisations, get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
Visit esuitetalent.com.au, that's ESUITE talent.com.au to learn more. Now let's get into today's show.
We all think about videos like, edited videos as film and and so we put video on this pedestal, whereas it's just a window. It's just a comms tool. If you were there in person, you'd say the same thing. So I think stop thinking about getting dressed up and made up to make an amazing piece of content. It's like being a butcher and someone walks in, you say good morning. We're a little bit different here at Bonjoro. Everyone who joins the company gets to design their own handmade bear suit from some old grannies in the north of England. I think advocacy or superfans is the unknown. It's like the untapped resource to grow a business. You don't need 100,000 customers. You need 1,000 who rant and rave about you and each go and tell 10 people.
Welcome to Add to Cart, the podcast that express delivers all you need to know in the fast-moving world of e-commerce. Every month, Nathan Bush from 12 High and an e-commerce industry expert will share the news, research and insights that you need to know to keep you at the top of your game. And of course, keep your customers adding to cart.
Hello and welcome to Add to Cart. My name is Nathan Bush, host of Add to Cart and director at e-commerce talent agency eSuite. Today's guest is the founder of a business that makes all their new employees design their own bear suit onesie when they first join. They're also aiming to reshape how we think about video as a tool to better connect with customers. I'm not sure which mission's more important. Matt Barnett is the CEO of Bonjoro, a SaaS-based video platform that allows you, your customer service, or your warehouse teams to send short, personalised videos to your customers via email. Started in Sydney in 2017, Bonjoro is now used across the world and is integrated with platforms like Shopify, MailChimp, and ActiveCampaign. In this conversation, you'll hear how Matt had the idea for Bonjoro on his morning commute, how personalised video can help increase conversion rates at certain points in the funnel, and his tips for those who are struggling in front of video. So let's get into it. Thanks to our partners Shopify Plus and Signet, here's our conversation with Matt Barnett, CEO and founder of Bonjoro. Matt Barnett, welcome to Add to Cart.
Hey Nathan, great to be here.
Lovely to have you here. Now, Matt, if we were surfing, and let's say we're surfing in Scotland somewhere, and I met you out the back on the waves, and I said to you, Matt, what do you do? How do you explain what you do?
We run a one-to-one personalized video messaging technology. So essentially, the idea behind it is when customers perform an action, such as coming into your lead funnel, purchasing, getting delivered, take 20 seconds and say thank you with a one-to-one personalized video.
Beautiful. Summed up very nicely. Now, we're going to unpack all of that today. But to give people an idea of your journey, you are the self-proclaimed Papa Bear at Bonjoro. Tell us how you came up with the idea of Bonjoro and a little bit of your backstory around how you got to where it is today. Sure.
So I was running an agency here in Sydney. We dealt with large enterprise clients. So happens most of those are overseas. So we ended up with clients UK, London, Paris, New York. And obviously our lead funnel was signups and interest and inquiries coming in during the evening here. Australia's a great place to live. It's not ideal in terms of time zones. So we're very much a kind of convert by personality kind of company. We had a great, obviously, product and offering, but I'm a very much a jazz hands guy. I like to get up and shout around. And we were dealing with kind of creative sides as businesses, so very important. Now, I'm not a copywriter, so email drip campaigns in terms of getting those kinds of calls weren't fantastic. They were okay. So to try something a bit different, I thought, let's just send a video to every single person that ever gets in touch. And so I'd record a video each morning on the way to work. Like I used to take a ferry across the harbour. So if they were outside of Australia, I'd get the Opera House like on the video as well. I'd say, hey, John Archer, saw you sign up for Ogilvy in London. I see you work on the Budweiser accounts. We haven't worked with Budweiser, but we have worked with Heineken, Diageo, and a few others. So this is kind of things we've done. Look, obviously I'm not in London, but I will be over there in 6 weeks. Why not come in, bring you coffee, and then kind of run you through what we do. And as a result of that being the first piece of comms they ever heard from the brand or from the team, we tripled our response rates overnight. We, as a result, tripled the amount of meetings we had and therefore tripled the amount of business. That was a pat on our back, good little sales hack. One of the probably 100 that we tried. One of those customers at the end of a meeting just asked, what's this video email system? Can we use it? I explained it's something we'd done, and we kind of sat back and built something that they could use over a weekend, as a little side project. Inevitably, some of their customers, they sent them to ask if they could use it. And some of their customers asked if they could use it. And, within 12 months later, a couple of us on the team decided to work on it full time. And within 18 months, it had overtaken the original agency.
So just take us back there. So you're running a creative agency at the time, but you're taking the ferry across Sydney Harbour, and you're literally just pulling out your iPhone or whatever phone you're carrying at that point, shooting a video, and then attaching it to an email?
Yep, that's it.
And did you have in mind at that point that was going to be your product, or did you just go, this is a great sales tactic?
No, a caveat. The agency and the system we did, we were using video anyway. So we were actually a research agency using videos to do core research with a video diaries around the world. So we understood the space. So video was a natural thing for us to try as one of our many tests. No, it was never an intention to build a business. Absolutely not.
Gotcha. And what was the point where you went, actually, I think this personalized video service is going to be bigger than our agency? When
you see something growing 10% a month and you're putting zero resources or time into it, then, and you put a paywall and people start paying, then there's a point, there's a tipping point. And you're like, this is more than beer money.
Yeah. And I suppose you could see it then, because it's such a different model to agency where you're selling head hours or you're selling products, but it's more limiting, right, than a scalable SaaS model.
Yeah, with the agency, again, we were an agency built on products, so we had this balance. So yes, we did do our man hours. We also did product too and unique deliverability. This was obviously full SaaS, which is kind of what we wanted to do originally. Yeah, the agency is another story, but we ended up in that from releasing products, and that ended up being the market that took it. So we had a need and a want to do products and kind of work through that. I'm a product designer originally. So again, the biases were there and the deep understanding was there. So although it was by chance, I guess we kind of knew what to unlock, and when it came, at some point we saw the opportunity and knew that if we delivered and kind of dug in, it would become something more.
Gotcha. And then, so tell us where Bonjoro is now. So started up out of Sydney in 2017, if I'm right?
Yep. 2017 started. We probably started investing probably in 2018. It's going to give it a year. We're now in 27 countries and languages. 92% of our customers are not Australian, unfortunately. So we're very much a global business. Most of our team is not in Australia either anymore. So we're around the world, and that will continue to grow that way. So we're looking at a big jump this year in terms of personnel as well, and those are all overseas pretty much. So very much gone from what was an Australian agency to being a global company very quickly within a short space of time, which has been a joy and a challenge for sure.
And what markets are you getting most traction in?
So e-commerce is a big area. So e-commerce SaaS is big as well. So we do a lot of B2B SaaS. We then obviously work in quality services, areas will use us. So communicating with leads and with existing clients. And then the final area is education. So a lot of this is online education, which is essentially a SaaS model. And then we do work with the universities and stuff as well, but essentially they are businesses.
Yeah.
So that's to be easy buckets. Ultimately, we're being used for the same things across all those industries. So being used for lead conversion, being used for early custom activation and engagement, and then being used for driving reviews and referrals. Those hold true across every industry.
Great. So if we narrow down into the e-commerce sector, can you give us some examples of how your e-commerce clients are using Bonjoro and personalized video to drive a couple of those areas?
Yeah, so two I'll talk about specifically. One which has been kind of a rise this year is a move from a lot of e-commerce companies into doing subscription models. So the industry itself has gone from about 7% subscription to maybe 14, 15 now. This is not just consumables, like a lot of like unique products are doing this as well. Now, where we're being used there is when a customer comes in for a second or more purchase. So you know they're a returning customer. Again, there's a little bit about time, and obviously e-commerce is big funnels. You're then having one of your support or kind of service team drop in and say, "Hey, Steve, saw you bought, like this is your third purchase of the coffee. Did you know we have a subscription model?" And it's, if you use that purchase on the at the kind of rate you're purchasing anyway, you're actually going to save money and we'll give you all these benefits. If you want to upgrade, click here, and there's a 5% discount. Now, very specifically around that, like one case we have is a coffee company out of Canada who used that to drive their subscription model ahead in the last 12 months. And they went from, I think, 35 grand MRR, which they built over about 4 years, to 75 grand 3 months later by specifically focusing on multiple purchase people. And then obviously the thing here is, it's stepping in touch while they were doing this in the roasting arena. So it's quite an exciting thing anyway. And so they're generating a lot of customer goodwill and saying, do a subscription model that helps, it supports us. And then massive amount of customers shifted over to that. The other area we get used primarily above all else is driving reviews and referrals. So the idea here is after a delivery of an item, wait 24 hours. Boy, this whole system works on triggers. So 24 hours later, you get a notification saying Mrs. Jones has received her item 24 hours ago. Your then support team reaches out and checks that everything is good and as expected. So the idea here is customer service excellence in an industry where that hasn't been done before. So it's about a competitive edge there. People love that. At the end, check in, make sure like the item you received is great. Everything's as you expected. By the way, reviews mean a lot to us. There's a link here to Trustpilot. Can you go and leave us a review? Much more effective in terms of getting reviews. Generally, you see again 3 times, 4 times the response rate to those. Company in Denmark, good example, fashion company, so obviously higher ticket items, decided to go after Trustpilot for reviews, went from a kind of non-existent Trustpiloter to number 1 in Denmark for the whole of men's fashion within about 4 months.
Wow.
In terms of doing this. Now, it's not a lot, and they went after it hardcore, but the response rate was so good, and obviously the goodwill generated from doing these videos was so insane that their number 1 ultimately led to them halving their CAC. So their cost of acquisition for A&U customers coming in, because again, like a lot of traffic shifted to review-driven leads.
Our partners at Signet helped organic tea business Little Wild Linko go plastic-free in their small business supply chain. They switched from plastic-lined mailer bags to a completely sustainable packaging lineup, all without having to commit to high minimum order quantities. Run wild and free, Little Wild Co. Signet has over 5,500 packaging solutions to help leading e-commerce businesses step up their packaging game. Visit signet.net.au to find out more. So to talk people through the actual process here, because I think it's really important that we get into the details of how this actually works. From a customer perspective, I do my transaction as per normal, and I will receive an email with a personalized video in it. Is that how it generally works?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
And most of the videos, are they created by customer service team members usually?
Depends on the stage of the company. If you're a small startup just getting going, then like often it'll be the founders, and the starting team. And I think like at that time, obviously, I mean, like your time is important throughout the process, but at the beginning, like I actually had one today off a customer I bought who's just started up, and I was like, this is amazing because the founder did it, and that's cool in those early days. And so like I'm going to go and leave a review no matter what. As teams scale up, they tend to be customer support's kind of front-facing team that do these, or potentially in the warehouse. So we've often had people doing it at point of delivery from the warehouse side of things. Again, these are team members who, to be frank, are probably a bit more cost-effective operationally as well. And to do a 30-second video while they're packing up, super easy. We've actually had now at the stage where we've actually had customers, like numerous customers in e-commerce, hire people to do these. So like some have ended up going full time. Some have like hired like part timers. So we see this a lot in fashion and the high ticket items. because the results are so night and day that it again pays to do that. It depends on the funnel as well. Like a lot of customers start off filtering that funnel down, so you're focusing on, as I said, like second, third purchases, so on your better customers anyway, because you're going to get a better review, etc. As that becomes so effective, you then need to look at the numbers in your funnel and go, well, where else does it make sense? It might make sense to do it on every transaction if that drives X ROI in terms of CAC or in terms of repeat business anyway.
Gotcha. So your customer service or your warehouse team will receive a notification on their laptop or mobile?
Mobile mostly. Yeah, so laptop or mobile, but mobile's easy. Yeah.
Gotcha. And it'll say, hey, Nathan's just ordered this. It's been 24 hours, successfully delivered. Shoot him a quick video, and then that'll automatically attach to an email through the email system that they're using and send out.
So again, like all your team is doing is the video. And when they record the video, we'll actually pull information from whatever you're using for your e-commerce platform. So we need to go with all those. So we'll actually show you. Joe Lemon brought this. They're based in, Wisconsin. They're actually a third-time purchaser. They've spent to date $413, and they've done X, Y. So again, like you can see information about it, so that when your team does the video, that's shown at a glance. So they can personalize it in 20 seconds. And so when the user receives it, they're like, "Wow, this is actually meant for me." But all delivery, everything else, all the tracking, all the response, everything is taken care of by the system. So it's literally a 20-second time input, like a minute max if they want to read it and kind of personalize it. But it's very, very quick. It's very operational, and yet personalized. This idea of getting personalization.
It's a nice
scale.
mix of using data for automation plus a personalized touch at the end of using that data for personalization. Real personalization, not automated personalization, is really nice, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
What have been some of the more creative use cases you've seen of it, especially in the e-commerce area?
Yeah, so I think the warehousing stuff's really interesting. I think this all comes down to placement. So warehousing, like I mentioned, while roasting coffee beans, people out while installing water tanks and stuff, like on the move. I think when you're doing things that are relevant to the business, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not actually it doesn't have to be that creative, yeah. But when you see someone actually packing up your item to send, or when you see someone in the warehousing where they're working, it's a bit of. So it's about transparency here, yeah, and authenticity. So it's interesting because you've seen something you haven't seen before. It shows us real humans doing the business and that they're trying and they're caring about you. It shows again the business is legit. Especially this is really, really valuable for things where you have obviously Australian centers or country-based centers in the US. So not necessarily coming from overseas in China and drop shipping. That's valuable. When you're an artisan. Amazing.
Yeah.
You see the stuff being done. And again, you can build these up and just do it all in one day. So one day when you're roasting, not like you're roasting their beans there and then, but you're tailoring it to that experience. I think that's really interesting. I think it's really engaging. I think, again, just you're after a wow factor here. And again, back to the artisan thing, it also gets people to go, oh, wow, this is legit. These guys actually do roast their own things. I'm staying for the next few years. And I'm going to tell all my friends.
And people love that behind the scenes, a little bit gritty, a little bit down and dirty. I'm in the warehouse. I'm in with the founder. They love that access, don't they? We kind of think, they just want the Instagram polished posts. It's no, they kind of want a bit of everything.
People we like people it's about trust, yeah. How do you trust? You trust. You gain trust through transparency, and people understand. Especially this year, everyone's in the same boat with everything. So that's understanding. People can share it. Again, and it's just. The fact that brand is willing to do that means they're, again, psychologically, they're more willing to be transparent around things. They're not going to pull all over your eyes. They're not a marketing company. They're actually a product company. Yeah,
gotcha. There was a great example that I saw over Christmas or over Black Friday of a shoe company here in Australia. And they're really, really great shoe company, 2 founders, but they had obviously logistics issues and inventory issues over Black Friday. And 2 weeks after my wife ordered, she got an email and it had a link to a Google Drive video. And it was the 2 founders, and they've been very open and honest, 2-minute video saying, guys, sorry about this. It's not acceptable. This is what we're doing about it. And it was really personal, but it just felt a bit clunky because it was linking into a Google Drive video.
Yeah.
Do you also do things like that through Bonjoro where it might not be one-to-one, but it might be going to a select group of people?
Yeah, so we have tools for recording videos, even recording desktops as well. So if you want to walk through shops and stuff. And then you can share those out to small groups or you can include them in any email marketing campaigns. So for mass, talk about personalization. There's a few things here. Like there's different levels, different clients. So, high ticket item, multiple purchase. Like do it in person, one-to-one. It's worth it. Like, trust me, like it's worth 20 seconds. Like you'll find out pretty quickly. Lower ticket items, mass, you might want to do smaller groups. So do a video a day. Be like, hey, it's Tuesday here in Brisbane. Like the sun's out. It's Tuesday the 13th. We shipped off your stuff today. You should have it in 24 hours. Now, the point there is that like it's still in the moment. It's maybe not, you're not saying the person's name, but it's in the moment. It's fresh. It's there. It's that day. And that's kind of like still like valuable to an extent. Obviously, then when you're doing stuff for like mass, again, like it's a different time it's coming through. And so that also makes sense. Look, and the transparency is key. Yeah? So like, it's just balancing where you do it, at what point. Experiment, is a group 95% as effective as one-to-one, in which case do that. Is one-to-one 10 times more effective, in which case pick out where you do that. It's just a balance. But I think, again, in the moment is extremely valuable too. Fresh. Like the point here is not necessarily just canned stuff. Like, and with the guys you mentioned, that was pertinent to that time period. So they won't be sending out that down the line. For sure. Yeah,
it's getting into a new mindset with video, isn't it? That this video is disposable. It's not meant to stick around forever.
It's got like so. Don't think about video. Drop the word video from your vocab. We all think about videos like edited videos as film and and so we put video on this pedestal, whereas it's just a window. It's just a comms tool. If you were there in person, you'd say the same thing. So I think stop thinking about getting dressed up and made up to make you an amazing piece of content. It's just like it's like being a butcher and someone walks in, you say good morning, or into a shop. Yeah, like it's the same thing, but obviously we're doing it with customers who are far apart. That's all you're trying to do.
Yeah,
that's it.
Do you have any tips for people who get paralyzed by a video camera being on them?
So a couple of things here. Yeah, like number one, you use your mobile.
Yeah.
I think just psychologically, mobiles are very personal devices. We use them all the time. So I think it's a little bit less, like it makes you think less about video when it's on mobile. Get outside, get comfortable, take a walk, do it somewhere where you're going to be less nervous. Secondly, kind of get over it. Do something like this because you have to send out 10 to 15 to 20 to test it. Like by the time you've done 20 and you get some great responses, you'll be like, okay, great. Like it doesn't matter anymore. The first few times you might end up like scripting and reshooting them and stuff, and then you'll realize, especially if you have a funnel and a large customer base, you don't have time for that, and it doesn't matter. So what the medium will teach you that it doesn't matter, and your time you'll have to do will teach you. So again, if it works for you and it's positive, you'll end up getting rid of the time. I think those are probably the two most important things. Like just get on with it, and use a mobile device. So again, it feels less like a made up video.
I think they're great tips. Like the just get on with it's a really good one. Like even for Add to Cart, I've been trying to engage with listeners a little bit more using Instagram stories video. And for me, it's just do it. Just when I'm out on a walk, when I'm going shopping or whatever, don't think about it. Like we did one for this podcast coming up and I said, hey, we've got Matt Barnett coming up. And I was just at an office and I was like, I just got to get it out. It doesn't matter where I am. Just do it. Anyone got questions for Matt? And you get questions through and no one goes, oh, shit, your eyes looked baggy, or you've got, what office are you sitting in? Like, they don't care.
They don't care, no.
You care more than they do.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't care. I don't care at all anymore.
And after a while, it becomes really easy. So, yeah, I think just get on to it. It's a really great one. Just a quick one just to tie up the Bonjoro piece here. Can you give us an overview on what the onboarding and the commercial agreements look like for a typical retailer?
Yeah, so it's mostly self-service. So hop on board, free trial, 14 days, no credit cards, nothing. Try it out. Talk to my team. You'll get a video from one of us when you come on board. So all those videos will be unique to you. What we do provide for every single customer is a setup call if you'd like one. We don't care how big or small you are. So hop on board a call with that, and they'll talk through if you explain exactly what you do in e-commerce. We've seen thousands and thousands of customers, so I'll be able to help you out specifically. Get on board, try it out. Do your 15, 20 videos. You'll work it very, very, very quickly. It's binary.
Yeah.
Does it work for you? Does it not? Then it's up to you. Credit card in, monthly subscriptions or annual, cancel anytime, no questions asked. like no lock-in, nothing. So again, like it's minimal risk, absolutely.
Gotcha. And what kind of dollars are we talking at per volume, like roughly? I mean, it's all on the website for people to check out, but
yeah, like starts $15, sorry, $15 I would say, like for single seat for small usage. If you're kind of just getting started, like highest plan's $79. And then we do charge $15 for team member after that. So if you want to have multiple team members on there, but we're not talking anything to break the bank here.
Yeah, we're talking accessible for most retailers to at least give it a go.
Yeah, for sure.
And in terms of integrations, what are your most popular integrations from email platform perspectives?
So we have about 15 direct integrations. So everything from MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Entreport, HubSpot, Salesforce, all that. We also plug into Shopify directly as well. We also have we're like one of Zapier's fastest growing apps. So if you want to plug into any other system, so BigCommerce, WeCommerce, etc., we've got a bunch of Zapier integrations set up for those as well, which are really easy to get started. Essentially, plug into kind of anything. Yeah, pretty much. If you can't find it, talk to us. We'll give you a hand.
Once you're in Zapier, you're pretty much into most platforms, right? If you're not there,
direct. Look, we have direct integrations. People often like Zapier when they start to do crazy things. They're like, I want to filter out someone who is a third purchase, but like this ticket item, but only if they're based in New Zealand, in Wellington, on a Tuesday. And then like for that kind of stuff, we're like, okay, right, we'll go here, and we'll even give you a hand send of it, like if you like to.
Yeah.
But start simple.
Yeah, nice, awesome. I think that's a really great overview of Bonjoro. Thank you, and it's really exciting. I think it's a great opportunity to do that personalized video, and just a great opportunity, I think, to give your customer service teams and your warehouse teams something that's a bit different to do, especially if you're looking to develop different skills and just give them a bit of excitement for the day. I think it's a nice thing to try. On your LinkedIn bio, you say your tagline is, "My love of building great products is only surpassed by that of building a great culture." What do you mean by that?
I love everyone that I work with, I guess. It's and we're a little bit different here at Bonjoro. We're a little bit intense on the whole brand thing. We because our teams around the world, we can't. Everyone who joins the company gets to design their own handmade bear suit from some old grannies in the north of England. We were flying a team. We would fly a team together once a year for a kind of all hands like retreat. So we did Edinburgh last year. We did, I think, down south here in Australia, paddleboarding and diving with the seals. Like the year before.
You don't.
This year, I think we were.
You don't have to dive with the seals in your bear suit, do you? Because that could be dangerous.
No. Because they might think you're a nice looking lady seal.
That's right. HR would have something to say about that.
Yeah. So that's obviously been a bit of a challenge this year with lockdowns. So yeah, we'd also give you like team an extra flight to fly around the world as well and meet each other and kind of build relationships. So we're kind of navigating how we do that. Hopefully this year it will open up towards the end. I don't think anything will happen before June, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So I think good culture, it's everything. Yeah, people are more incentivized to work. People work harder. They work smarter. They stay longer. They bring in other great team members. It's not that hard to align everyone on kind of company goals and thoughts and mechanisms. They behave great with customers. So your front, you don't have to worry about like training like your front line because they just behave in the right way. So I think if you can get culture right, it's absolutely take us here. Like as a product company, we have two things to do. One is build great products, and the other one is get and train great people. That's it. Like we don't have to do anything else at all. Like if we have the best people doing the best jobs and we have the best kind of process and culture around that, the company will excel.
That's right.
That's it.
Tell us about that, getting great people, because what do you, if you meet someone for the first time, they're turning up for a job interview or you're just speaking to them on Skype or whatever, how do you know that's a Bonjoro type of person? Is there any specific traits or things that you look out for?
I mean, like we know within like 5 minutes. So like it's easy. Like transparency, like absolutely. See, like so with us, and this is us specifically for our company, like you got to be transparent. Like you got to think, like, can I have a beer with this person? Like, will I go for lunch with them tomorrow? Like you have like very, very open, very transparent, very authentic, no BS, just kind of straight to the point, like smart, like intelligent, like, and then like a hunger for problem solving and a hunger for kind of growth because we're quite independent here. So we tend to give people a lot of license to go and try their own things and solve their own problems. And so I want people to, like, we're not, to that, maybe this is a bit of a flaw, yeah, we're not amazing at management and training. So I think in that sense, we want people to go and be able to find the issues and then test to solve the issues. And we'll give you everything you need to do that. But again, you need to have the hunger to go and sort out what's not working, stand up, talk about it, and then go and solve it and test. And then if you fail, that's fine. We don't care. Test again, test again. So I think exploring those is quite easy. There's quite a few pertinent questions we can ask around that. And that's before we even get into the details of the role. I mean, we're at a stage now where we're trying to hire more specialists. So, like obviously we have more vetting process now than we would do before, like around certain skill sets. But then the first interviews we keep fairly short because we know. I'm always looking, by the way. Like, so the other thing is like, if I think about like our last few hires, we knew them all 12 months before we hired them.
Yeah,
like that's a common trait. Is that I'll meet customers, I'll meet people, and just be thinking, you fit great. When the time comes, I'm here to reach out. So I think don't wait until you're going to be hiring to build relationships. Build them early. And if you never end up hiring that person or never comes to play, that's fine. You've got a great relationship.
Yeah. That's a really great tip because I think a lot of people make the trap of, I'll wait until I've got a specific position, got the JD written up, got it in LinkedIn, Seek, whatever, and then I'll go find that person. But to have, you kind of know the trajectory of your business and you know what's coming up right over the next 12, 24 months. To have those relationship building is a really great starting point.
And if you met them and you know them and you build a relationship with them, over that time, you'll work out 100% what their skills and weaknesses are and whether they're good to go. I think everyone should still go through a formal interview process regardless, though.
Yeah.
And you should have other team members interview them anyway, and you should let them know that even though you've talked about this, there will be a process you will go through. We have to tick you off. Like, if you don't get it, like, no hard feelings. Like, this has to be done. So make sure that's transparent from you as well.
If you're coming back from your Christmas holidays and need to give your brain a jump start, Shopify's The Future of E-commerce report will get you going. They've interviewed industry leaders, investors, and e-commerce experts to give you the 5 trends that will shape e-commerce in 2021 and beyond. And while 2020 was a free kick for many in e-commerce, the game is going to get tougher with increased competition, fulfillment pressures, and higher acquisition costs being the upcoming tests. This report goes into detail on what to expect so you can plan for it. Sadly, the future still doesn't hold hoverboards. To read the report, visit shopify.com/enterprise/the future of e-commerce, or just Google Shopify Future of E-commerce report. How do you personally relax and turn off? Because I can imagine with customers and team all over the globe that you would be semi-switched on most of the time. What's your personal escape from it all?
I have to be doing something 100% with my brain, otherwise I can't switch off. So yeah, surfing, absolutely. Like getting out. I mean, like I'm British. I moved to Australia so I could disappear off the radar completely. So adventure. I now have a family and a young daughter, so we're taking her out. So we went like out last weekend. We kayaked like 5Ks, like a secluded camp spot on a lake with no one else there. We can't camp out. So we're at the stage with that. We can start to start. Yeah, I think doing that kind of thing again when you're involved in the moment and just switching off your like internet. We're like 24/7. Like Sunday is like Sunday. Like here is like Saturday here is Friday in the States and in Europe, and then it never ends.
There'll always be something, right? Do you find that when you have those moments where you switch the net off and you go out kayaking, that your best ideas come, or do your best ideas come when you're in the grind of it all?
Both. I don't think there's a recipe for best ideas. Ideas come, like a lot of our best ideas come off other team members, like they're not mine at all. So other team members will bring them in, then we'll kind of look at them, and then that'll spark other ideas, and off you go. I think when you're looking at sessions, like right now we're planning out 2021, we're planning out what, like the way we do this, we start with the problems. We're like, here's all the issues we're going to have this year. Here's our weak points. And then like that's going to spark ideas to go and solve those. Yep. Now, obviously, I think thinking offline, you will think of ideas. But at the same point, that's me always thinking, like to truly, like when I truly switch off, like I try and switch off, like absolutely. Surfing's a great one because, if you're not concentrating, you drown. So it's pretty good.
It's a fair point. All right, Matt, what is next for yourself and Bonjoro? What do the next 12 months hold, as much as you can predict what the next 12 months hold?
Yeah, so we want to go deeper on the whole idea of personalization at scale.
Yeah.
Video is great. We're not a video company. We're a personalization company. So I guess kind of looking forward, can we help to can we help you spend your time better? Can we tell you where you should put the time, where you shouldn't put the time, which customers you should send a video to or message or talk to versus which ones you shouldn't? And off the back of that, can we help you create more advocates? Because I think advocacy or superfans is the unknown, it's like the untapped resource to grow a business. You don't need 100,000 customers. You need 1,000 who rant and rave about you and each go and tell 10 people. That's it.
Yeah. Great. So building those super fans with your clients. I love it. And then lastly, how can people get in touch with yourself or the team if they want to know more?
So hop on the Bonjoro.com. Like I said, if you sign up, one of the team will be in touch with the video. Just have a chat to them, or hop on a call. Yeah. If you like any advice at all, again, the more specifically you can explain what part of your funnel you're looking to improve, the better they can help you. Myself, like LinkedIn, type in Papa Bear. There's only 3 of us, and I think I'm the guy in the bear suit. So reach out.
Just be careful of the other 2.
Yeah, don't trust them.
Yeah. Matt, thank you for joining us on Add to Cart. It's been so good just hearing more about your solution, which I think is really unique, and I haven't seen anything else like that. And I like that it's a really easy entry point for people to at least trial without a huge investment in time or money. So I think it's definitely worth a go for any retailers who are thinking about how to improve their service and increase their super fans, as you say. So thank you for explaining and sharing your story.
No problem, Nathan. Thanks for having me along.
Cool idea, hey? So my favourite part of the interview was when Matt pulled me up for referring to it as video. And I was like, isn't that kind of the whole thing here? Is that we're talking about video? But his point is valid. If we stop thinking about videos as masterpieces that need to be polished, but just treat them as one of the most powerful and authentic connection tools that we have, maybe we can hyper speed up our relationships with our customers. And if it only takes a minute to film and send, well, all power to you. It kind of reminds me of Walmart's recent activity to make 500 of their employees Instagram and TikTok influencers. They've basically given them the tools to go out and speak to customers directly via these platforms. Check out their Spotlight program if you want more information. If we can reshape how, and more importantly, who can use video in our businesses, there's huge opportunities for stronger connections for those retailers who really want to trade on authenticity. To finish up, I have 3 resources for you. Firstly, if you're a first-time listener of Add to Cart and you want to stay up to date with new episodes, head over to addtocart.com.au and you can sign up for our weekly newsletter. We'll let you know every time a new episode drops, as well as giving you my 3 takeaways from each episode and a link to the transcripts so you can know that this is an episode that you want to dive straight into. Secondly, if you want a weekly roundup of the best e-commerce case studies, tools, and research, sign up to the High Five Friday newsletter, which is delivered to inboxes at 8 a.m. every Friday morning. I read all the e-commerce news and send you the bits that I think you can take action from. Sign up at 12high12high.com.au/high5. And the last thing, if you are looking to explore your next e-commerce opportunity, head over to esuitetalent.com.au. We are a dedicated e-commerce talent agency connecting the best e-commerce talent with the fastest growing brands. Check it out, sign up to the email, and get in touch with me if you want to discuss your next move. Until next time, thanks for listening and keep those customers adding to cart.